Good morning, guys. Good afternoon. Good evening. Let's get it going. Good night, almost, guys. It's getting pretty dark here right now. The sun probably sets. I think it's setting like right now. It's 8:11, and the sun sets. Yep, it set 2 minutes ago, so it's about to get real pitch black. We got the little LED lights. Come on, bring in that glow. Let's get it going, guys, and crack another video. But we're really just we're cracking it, guys. Chip by chip, bit by bit. You know, that's with anything in life, guys. Yeah, I don't have to tell you guys this, but it doesn't happen overnight. It's just bit by bit. Focus on the process the best you can, and just focus on slow progress. Focus on just, not the external results so much. Don't worry about, the views, the this, the that, which I know is easier said than done because I obviously get caught up in my head at times. But really focus on being undeniable. That's what many coaches would tell me. I would learn that in powerlifting. I would learn that in business. I would learn that just through street preaching, with anything, guys. Just focus on becoming undeniable. Like focus to become so good where you're at a point that a complete disbeliever can listen to you. And even if they completely disagree with your apologetics, your evangelism, your sales pitch, whatever it is, even your art, let's say you're a painter, whatever it is, like even if they're not into art, whatever, you become so undeniable that they're like, you know what, this guy's onto something, right? Like you gotta be honest, like the dude's spitting facts. When you can get to that point, guys, you become lethal. So don't worry so much about, the quick tactics or this, no. Just become good, and that takes time. And I obviously have such a lot longer to go, guys. It never ends. But just brick by brick, in your wisdom, your ability to speak, your charisma, your this, your knowledge, your understanding of history, this religion, that, right? With apologetics, that's how, like verse by verse, right? Surah by surah, like little tidbits, and eventually you look back and you're like, man, I came quite a long way, right? So anyways, guys, in today's video, right, it's so funny, guys, like, you guys know I record these videos in batches. I'll literally switch my shirts, and I can't make this up. God will, he'll just tell me something. Like, I'll put on the green shirt, and he'll be like, say this. Like, this is what the video is about. So I'm just going to run with it. That's usually how I make all these videos. I don't script them, as you guys know, so that's why I rant sometimes. We got a car. It's honking. Anyways, with that said, guys, in today's video, we got inspired to speak of men constantly need pressure. Amen. Men constantly need fight. Men constantly need resistance. I love that word, pressure. Think of like a pressure cooker. Think of like a Ziploc bag, and it's just like a balloon, and you're just like holding it before it pops. It doesn't pop, but it's close. It's just this it's a pressure cooker, man. It's like you're in a sauna and you're like cooking. Guys, if I can explain this, you guys are going to notice a lot of reoccurring themes in these videos, which is good, guys. I really need you. My goal is for you guys to think the way I think, and not because I'm special, but it's because I resemble to think how Christ thinks. As Christ lives within me, it's the same spirit. It's the same accord. You guys are going to notice this too, just as a last little rant. Adrian, my evangelist, I never met this guy. I met him now for like a month and a half. We think almost identical, and it's not because we went to the same school, we watched the same YouTubers. No, it's because we're of the same spirit. My old pastor would always say that. We're of the same accord. You got to test people's spirits, guys. That's what's very important. And obviously none of us are perfect. Some of us are going to be a little bit more prideful, a little bit more religious, a little bit more in our flesh. Like that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying though, the overall spirit, are you of one accord? It's very, very important, guys. Again, you guys know we do not fight against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? So in this video, guys, I'm going to be brutally honest with you, as I always am. I personally believe, guys, that God has chosen ones. Many are called, few are chosen. And what God does, I heard this term before, I'm not sure if it sounds good or not, but being a chosen one is almost like having a tortured soul. No matter what, you got this needle on you. Think of I want to say it was Paul. I think it was with his eyesight or something. He asked God to remove it multiple times. He's like, God, like fix this wound. Maybe it was in his side. I don't know exactly what it was. It wasn't specified, but remove this wound. And God was like, no. It toughens you up. Like, you need this. Like this strengthens you. And even in Hebrews 12:6-8, right? God chastens those he loves. Guys, what I've noticed my entire life, I have always fought spiritual battles. From being diagnosed with OCD, that is something that still tortures me to this day, every single day of my life. My dad passing when I was young, right? Being born half Japanese, half white. You'd think it doesn't matter. I look like a white guy, but I'm not actually the same as them. I never knew where I fit in as a kid. My entire childhood, I had friend groups that I would always get kicked out of. Through high school, I didn't know where I fit in. This is why I started my self-development channel. Like, all these things, it's like one thing after the next, right? Leaving house early, and Satan, guys, is always gonna Like you're as a chosen one of God, you're gonna be like the runt. Maybe not the runt, but like you're gonna be like the black sheep. If there's like 10 healthy piglets, you're gonna be the one with black spots. And it's a curse. In one hand, it's actually a blessing, but like to the outside world, it's actually a curse. Like a buddy very close to me, he has Tourette's. It's not horrible, but like you can tell he has it, and he's very close to God. Adrian, I'm not too sure, you know, with his or what is with him, but I can guarantee you guys, from just growing up in life, the majority of evangelists, chosen ones, have had a very hard upbringing. They've had a very, maybe your life has been full of depression, anxiety. Maybe you have some like eating disorder, some like celiac, like eczema disorder that like no one else has, and for whatever reason it can't be cured. Do you see what God's doing? God is chastening you. God is putting you in a pressure cooker. And I know it's not fun, man. Believe me. Sometimes I ask, just like Jesus, right? Can you take this cup away from me? Sometimes I'm like, God, can I just be like a normal person who has a girlfriend who like Netflix and chills, go to dinners, like just be like a normal human being. Sometimes I look at my life and I'm like I'm so, and as I'm not saying this in a prideful way, but as you guys go further down this path, you become so different, so detached. And I know you guys can relate to this, to the normal world, that like there is no resemblance of a normal life anymore. Now, of course, guys, you know, we eat, we sleep, we, you know, go to the gym, we live in a condo, like you live a normal life, right? I'm not saying you're in like, you know, hope to God, you're not like physically on the street. I mean, my old church, guys, were homeless, right? A lot of people are like, my ex-pastor was a drug addict. Like you notice these similarities. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not the common person who follows Christ, guys. And from what I heard beforehand, I'm not too sure how statistical this is, but I'm going to take, I'm gonna bet on this. The people who follow Christ, and I know it's starting to get darker, are actually people on the bell curve, meaning they were either complete screw-ups, hobos, crackheads, you know, losers, degenerates, homosexuals, you know, fornicators, like just bad people that found Christ, or they were geniuses, brilliant, truth seekers. I'm kind of on both. I'm not calling myself a genius, but like I kind of found Christ. Maybe I'll take the word genius if that makes you guys feel uncomfortable. Intellectuals, people who like you really have to like study. A lot of atheists become Christian this way. A lot of Muslims become Christian this way. They seek so diligently for the truth, so unapologetically. For me, how I found Christ was I just studied elites. I studied history. I studied what does our world promote and what does it attack. And I kept peeling back the layers, and it was Christ. All of it. And then I became born again. I gave it a go. Like I found Christ through self-development. I was just on my path, seeking. Like for me, my testimony was I was never like I was never like a crackhead or like a homosexual or like a massive. I was a pretty like, I don't want to say righteous because no one's righteous in the eyes of God, but like you guys saw on YouTube, self-developed. Like I was a pretty, you know, good guy, but I sought for truth. And I believe that's how the majority of you guys right now in this end day are coming to truth, right? Acts 2:17, God pours out his spirit upon all creation in these end days, and he's luring people. John 6:44, he's bringing people to the truth. It's like a magnet. I was evangelizing a Muslim today, and I was saying just that. Many Muslims across the world, or thousands, you can search this up. Don't take my word for it. It might be millions, I'll be honest with you, are getting dreams of Christ. The reason dreams to them are so important is because in the Quran, with Muslims, dreams are like very highly esteemed in Islam. For Christianity, not so much, but with Islam, just I guess based on tradition, their upbringing, dreams, and if you're a Muslim watching this, you can attest, dreams are held to like a very high regard. Like they listen to them more. So Christ knows that, obviously. So he's like, okay, I'll reveal myself in a dream. Where for me, I didn't, like I never got a dream. Nothing. When I became born again, it was merely just me searching truth. My girlfriend broke up with me. I was still, I could feel this like undeniable pull, and I just accepted it. That's how I became born again. My testimony is not as like, sometimes I actually wish it was crazier. Sometimes I wish, because I evangelize, right? Sometimes I wish I could say, yeah, man, you know, I was in jail, in prison, I was a drug head, and I did, but I wasn't, right? So, but that's okay, guys. We all find Christ through different means, right? So where I'm going though, guys, is like, as chosen ones of God, this is really what the whole channel is about. It's for warriors of Christ. And a lot of you guys right now may be on the fence, like, you know, I get what you're saying, David, but I'm not a warrior of Christ yet. Yeah, but you need to understand, just because you're not now, it doesn't mean you won't be in the future. Like I said, guys, I need to make this very clear. John 6:44, Jesus says, no one can come to me unless the Father draws him. It took me 2 years of self-development, very slowly coming to Christ before I became born again. Take that in mind. I first heard of Christ and Christianity, like seriously, I know this is a side tangent, through Elliot Hulse. So I actually got to give him props. Now he's Catholic. I'm not Catholic, but like he would speak of, at the time I didn't know the difference, right? He would speak of Christianity, Catholicism, mainly Christianity, and he would relate it to like how it built the West, and you know, the freedoms, and just the fruits of it, right? Like how our world was really built on that, and morality and objectivity. And he was someone I really looked up to, right, with self-development. So that kind of like opened my mind to it. But I was not born again at that point. It's a very important video. At that point, I wasn't born again. I was not regenerated. I was being lured, but it wasn't until, this is very important, guys, it wasn't until my girlfriend broke up with me, which is, again, it's all part of God's master plan, because God knew when I would be ready. And I can't make this up, guys. Like, God saw fit. It's kind of like a baby ready to give birth. He saw fit. All right, it's time for the baby to come out. It's time for you to become born again, David. He removed the girl. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going through this. You went through the breakup. You lost your job. Your family kicked you out. Something happened. God does all this. We can't even we can't comprehend how he works, guys. We can only look in hindsight, right? And she broke up with me, and at that time, I just so happened at the right time to be just keen enough on Christ, like I'd known enough about him to be receptive, like really receptive. And at the exact same time, it's like an eclipse, right? When the sun and the moon like just happened to meet right by, you know, the time of all times, right when I was learning enough about Christ and receptive and open, he removed my girlfriend so I could now see it on full blast. That's perfect. I could see it on full blast. It's like the sun and the moon, right? You got the sun, you got the moon going over it. Okay, it's dark. What if I remove the moon right now? Bang, pure sun, right? Now, I'm not a, whatever you want to call the people, what do you want to call them? Astrologist, right? So you correct me on how that works. But you get what I'm saying, right? It's like the blanket's removed and you're like, oh, I can see all the light. But I was only able to accept the light, follow Christ, become born again, because I had been lured slowly, almost like, what's the word? Like seasons, like you know, like given hints. You get what I'm saying? I was lured. I was like, it's like when you wake up in the morning, right? Like you slowly wake up, and then you get to a point where you're awake, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So once she broke up with me, I was in my full receptive, I understand what this is. I know what this is. I've been lured. I'll follow it. If she broke up with me even like 3 months prior, I may have denied it. It may have gone straight over my head. I wouldn't have been able to hear this Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I'm God. I might not have heard it. I was still I wasn't close enough. God is pulling all of you guys. And if you're watching this, I have full faith that he's pulling all of you. Or hopefully all of you. I would say, I know he's pulling everyone, but we're blind, guys. We shut it out. Do you understand? We don't like to do this. That's in Romans 1. We suppress the truth and unrighteousness. But anyways, guys, to bring it back to the point, men need pressure, you know, as a chosen one of God. Because in Jeremiah 1:5, I believe it says that I knew you while I was forming you in the womb, right? I knew my prophets. I knew my anointed ones, right? I don't say it in a prideful way. Your life upon birth has been different. My life I knew I was like called, there was something special about me or different upon birth. As a kid, I was different. Growing up in high school, I went through different traumatic experiences. Like, I didn't think the same. This is a decade before coming to Christ. That's you guys. Men need pressure. And that pressure comes the most, this tortured soul, to God's chosen ones. Because God needs to build your character. If God's going to anoint you and put you to a place of power or authority or an ability to encourage people, he needs to make sure you're strong, you're good. And that only happens, my friend, through pressure, right? Now, of course, we can put ourselves in an environment, like I've told you before, in a few videos back, I said, men need to become hardened, toughened, right? Like me working labor. That's good, man. You can like be in these situations, but it's spiritual. It's not carnal, guys, right? In that video, I said our spirit is much more powerful than our flesh. Well, that's why, because God taps into the spirit. He's going to put you through challenges. This is spiritual warfare. Really, he allows the devil to kind of like play with you, but he has his hand on the devil. He knows what's going on, and he does that to strengthen you. Think of the book of Job, perfect example, right? Job was like, what's going on, man? Why is my life breaking down? But he still remained to have faith in God. God was like, don't question me. You weren't there when I built the stars and the skies, when I was forming the earth. Don't question my plan. Like, trust. Job is like, all right. He endured, he had faith in God, never renounced it. He got back everything doubled. We don't know God's ways, guys, but like if you can keep enduring, your soul's going to become hardened. You're going to become a better evangelizer, a better leader. Your character's going to be miles ahead of the next guy. I mean miles, guys. Like I said at the beginning of this video, brick by brick. You do that after 5, 10, 15 years, it's undeniable, guys. And that's what it is to be a man. That's what it is to be a biblical, Christ-fearing man. Not just a natural self-development, you know, Hamza. Again, guys, I just bring him up because he's a popular YouTuber. It can be anyone. Not just that natural, righteous man, a Christ-fearing man. We're in different echelons, guys. The weakest Christ follower, I think I saw a meme of this, I'll finish here. The weakest Christ follower trumps day and night the strongest self-development guy. Write that down. The weakest true Christ follower is miles ahead of the best Andrew Tate, make this amount of money, be super jacked carnal. We're miles apart. You won't be attacked nearly as much as the spiritual man. Do you understand? It's Ephesians 6:12, guys. So guys, that is it. I'm going to finish it there. It's getting super dark out now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. God bless. I love you all. Please do keep me in your prayers, guys. I'll be honest. I really did get discouraged today just because I've been going daily and like, you know, the videos get like maybe 2,000 views and it's like, I feel like I'm just giving so much value and I got a little discouraged today, I'll be honest, where I thought of like what's the point? Who's even listening? What's the point? You know, and I guess that was Satan, where he was like, just stop making videos. No one cares. Like, your days are over. No one's going to, your channel's not going to pick back up. But nonetheless, man, I feel compelled to make these videos. And that's what we need to do as men. Just focus on the dirt. Focus on the dirt. Do what's in front of you and trust God's plan. This is me as a testimony trusting God's plan. I'm in the same boat as you guys. Maybe I'm a little further in certain realms, but I'm really in the same boat. So hopefully that can help, guys. That is it. Give it a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. As always, guys, there is one-on-one coaching if you're interested, where you can work with me, guys, on a personal level at anything of what we talk about, except going into much greater detail, being godly, biblical men, focusing on your relationships, your spiritual health, your physicality, and really just stepping on snakes and scorpions in these end days. So thank you, guys. Have an amazing day. Check your next video. Till then, it's time for me to do some edits and then hit the gym. See you guys next time. Much love. Peace.